Welcome back to London. We are standing outside the High Court in London, reporting on the Julian Assange extradition hearing. As you can see, the weather is appalling, but still hundreds of people have joined us to support Julian and to support democracy. It is important to remember what Julian is trying to defend himself from. The US and UK extradition treaty forbids extraditing somebody for political purposes. The MP who wrote this piece of legislation, David Davis, has stated that the first ruling on this case that Judge Vanessa Breitzer did, where she misread the law, and Julian is asking for permission to try to appeal that decision and be able to defend himself under the extradition treaty's prohibitions. Chloe, you have another point to...
Well, what's important also to mention is that Julian is the first journalist who is being charged under the 1917 Espionage Act. That is a massive overreach of the very archaic act in itself. And when, as you mentioned yesterday, Juan, that when Daniel Ellsberg was tried under that, actually as soon as it was discovered that the CIA had broken into his psychoanalysis office and gained access to his health records, that case was thrown out. Of course, as we mentioned yesterday, we now know that the CIA were actively spying on Julian, all of his private meetings, all of his legally privileged meetings. So again, it's just another testament to the lack of justice in Julian's case as to why this charge is still going ahead. In relation to the Espionage Act, of course, as we've mentioned, if Julian is extradited to America, he is then sat within the Eastern District of Virginia. That again is an area surrounded by the three-letter intelligence agencies with massive access and connection to the jury pools. So at every stage of Julian's trial, every stage of Julian's case, there is just a fundamental lack of justice.
Yes, and of course Julian is asking the court to admit new evidence. There has been, since this extradition hearing started 5 years ago, new evidence on 30 intelligence sources confiding in a journalist that the CIA had plans to assassinate Julian inside the Ecuadorian embassy or kidnap him. This is new evidence and should be enough to throw out the entire case. If the judges don't approve this evidence, they will be basically extraditing Julian Assange to the country that planned his murder.